Hi everyone, today I'm here with Dr. Jill Morris, the president of World Class Dentistry, and I can't wait to hear your story about a time when you did a 180.
Well, I was 12 years old and I was on the front porch with my dad, and he said I had to choose which parent to live with. And it was devastating because, of course, a 12-year-old, how do you choose? So my mother had decided to move to Florida from Indiana, and my brother and sister and my dad were all staying behind. And I said, I have to go with Mom because I didn't think she could take care of herself. And so at the time it seemed pretty natural for me, but looking back I'm like, why would a 12-year-old think that she's responsible or, has to take care of her parent? So we moved to Arcadia, Florida, and it was a culture shock for me because I was from Indiana, I was from the north, and it was a very unstable environment, and it was also a little bit unsafe. We didn't have a home when we first moved, and Mom finally, she did get a job, and we ended up becoming squatters in an orange grove.
Oh my gosh.
Where she dated men, and one helped us get a house trailer, and she found a place in an orange grove she liked, and so we just moved there. And then she asked later if we could live there, and the nice man that owned it was a elderly man, and he let us stay there. And so we dug a well and ran electricity, and that's where we lived. And it was a very unstable environment for me. But inside, I always knew that I had goals. I knew that I would make something of myself. There was just this inner knowing, this inner drive that I had. I was very fortunate. I'm fortunate that I made it through that situation safely. There were multiple men in and out of my mom's life. One tried to molest me when I was 12, and another one let me sit on his lap and drive his car when I was 13, and I hit a tree in downtown Main Street. So there were some really unstable things, and there was a nice family. Finally, when I was about 15, there was a family that helped me, and I actually got food and had meals and things like that. But I made good grades, and I tried out for tennis, and I became a cheerleader. And when I was 17, I decided I wanted to be a dentist. And so I was always a little bit more independent because of this. And so I'm grateful for everything that happened, because it really was a time when I could learn from my intuition. I could assess a situation and learn, pay attention to my feelings about the situation, kind of have a radar on people, and be aware of my environment, and really go within and say, well, whatever my circumstances are, I'm gonna excel above all this.
Did it take you a while to get to that point where you were grateful for?
Yes.
Okay.
Many years. I was angry at my mother for many years. For when I would look back, especially I have 3 children now, and I would look back and think, how could she put me in such a dangerous situation? How could my dad allow this to happen, even though he didn't know all the details of our living situation? It did take many years, but I know now that I really grew from that situation. And it also made me, because I was considered below a lot of people in my community, and I was looked at as, kind of looked down upon, it made me a good, I feel like a good leader in my practice, because as an employer, I've never thought that I'm better than anybody else in the practice. You know, just because I own the practice and this is mine, we're all equals and we're all here to make a difference and to you know, help people and to serve.
I think it's amazing that you went through such an intensely difficult time and you've been able to make it positive for yourself. What would you say to other people that are going through something similar right now? Because probably in the moment, they can't see that it could ever end up being positive one day.
Right. Well, I'm very grateful I lived, that I'm alive, that because even the little things you're grateful for. I can see, I can walk, I can hear, and just look for what am I learning from this experience. That my mother taught me great lessons. I mean, all of those lessons that I learned during that time were wonderful lessons to learn. So when you're going through a low period or a hard period, you're not always up and positive. I mean, there are a lot of ups and downs, but you ask yourself, what am I here to learn? What can I take from this and turn this around? And then later when you're through it, because we all get through things, we all have those situations, we make it through, and you can look back with the right attitude, because it's how you react to your situation, not what is the situation, that counts.
Wow. You recently co-authored a book called Stories That Heal, and so I just want to ask you a few fun questions now, but the first is, what's the most recent book that you've read? Besides that one, I guess.
Oh, well, Endurance was what those men went through, and Endurance, it was about the Antarctica explorer Shackleton, and a miraculous event for them to live and get through that. So I love those books. I love biographies, autobiographies, and true stories like that of people surviving.
What's your favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show? Well, I love Sunday Morning.
I like that one too.
I like
CBS,
it. It's all happy, good news. You know, I wish they all had good news like that.
Yeah, Steve Hartman's one of my favorite reporters. I love
me
that
too.
guy.
He makes me cry every time I see his stories.
He's wonderful.
Yeah.
What about your pet peeve?
Pet peeve. Oh, Lordy. I don't know. I guess my bangs right now. Yeah,
that's a good one. We'll go with that.
I guess when I'm not patient enough, when I run out of patience, I want to have more patience, I guess. Yeah.
And finally, last question: what inspires you?
What inspires me? Other people's stories inspire me. My work inspires me. My children inspire me. The youth of America. There's so many cool things. The new technology. You know, space, everything that's going on. There's so many neat things going on in the world right now. It's just a great time.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
Your story was amazing, and we hope that Jill's story inspired you as well. Thanks for watching.